Arc 3 of Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews is, in fact, the Bandai Creation line. I've seen a lot of people say that the Bandai Creation line is bad or it's just not as good, and in some ways they are right about it being not as good as the Japanese figures, but I wouldn't call these figures bad. In the past, I've referred to them as placeholders, but as the years have gone on, I've found a lot of charm and quality in the Bandai Creation line. Sometimes the figures look a little bit more cartoony than they should, sometimes they lack details, sometimes they're perfectly fine. In fact, there's a few cases where I'd prefer the Bandai Creation figure over the Japanese Bandai line. But anyway, let's just get down to brass tacks here. Today we are talking about the Bandai Creation Godzilla 2014 6 and 12 inch figures. First, we're gonna go over the big lad. Oh, he a big boy. And he's in a bit of a weird pose, but you know, it's a different pose for Godzilla. And that next to his size is one of the reasons why I actually ended up purchasing this guy. First up, we're gonna look at detail. Now looking at this guy's skin, this just further makes me question why people think the Bandai Creation line is just, you know, a cheap knockoff of the normal Bandai line. This is some great detail. We got great detail on the dorsal plates. We got great detail on his back, his arms, his hands, his head, his neck, his chest, the opposite side of him. This honestly looks really good. I regret to inform you that if you came here to listen to me rip on the Bandai Creation line, it's just not gonna happen. I'm not saying that this arc is gonna be all sunshine and farts, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot more positive than negative. Anyway, look at the detail on this guy's face. The bumps, the grooves, the scales, everything. It looks very, very good. This might be a budget figure at best, but I think he looks pretty dang good for a budget figure. All the teeth are painted. We've got a nice red tongue in his mouth. Let me see if I can get a good shot of that. Oh yeah, look at that. He looks mad. And he looks a little cockeyed too, but whatever. Again, I have to admire the detail. We've got the gills, we've got... Okay, these scales kind of look like chicken feathers, but anyway. The detail on the arms is very nice. Both sides, no less, and even inside the hand. The detail on Godzilla's chest and ab area into the crotch area looks really, really good too. It almost looks armored in a way. Even down to the thighs, shins, and feet, this thing's got some good detail on it. We've got wrinkles on the tops of the toes. We got some detail on the toenails as well. Look at that. That looks awesome. Moving on to the dorsal plates, oh man, there's a lot more detail on these things than I remember there being. And it's not just on the plates themselves, it's on his back as well. We've got wrinkles, we've got little mini dorsal plates growing out over here. It looks really, really good. A little dusty, but yeah, I gotta dust some of these guys off. And that detail flows and follows through all throughout the tail. Look at that, that just looks awesome. I'm also really liking the two-tone color scheme that was used for Godzilla's underbelly and on the bottom of his tail. I definitely think that's a lot better than just getting a multicolored gray figure. That's just me though. So this is a big boy with some big details, some minimal paint here and there, sure. I mean, he didn't really need a crazy paint job, but overall he looks great. And when it comes to articulation, I mean, it's a little basic, but, you know, he could, whoa, spin at the head. You can move him at the arms and such. His legs can go every which way. Well, not every which way. Like so. And he's got 2 points of articulation in the tail. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, there we go. So I find it pretty hard to hate this guy, but what about his smaller counterpart? Now, I really can't go into the whole which figure I prefer more, because the bigger guy has more articulation and I think he's got a better paint job, but this guy, I feel like his details are a little bit more prominent, but he also lacks articulation. So I like them both equally, just wanted to state that. Looking at this guy closer, I really like that his eyes are just yellow and that he doesn't have a pupil in there. I think he looks cool like that. Not so much creepy, just cool. Yet again, we have some very nicely painted teeth, a nice red tongue in his mouth, and we have that two-tone color for the top of his body and his underbelly. Only with this guy, the brown isn't as bright as it was on the 12-inch figure. It's got a little bit more of a fade to it, in some places more than others, like right there. That just looks kind of silly. But then again, that's present on both sides, so I guess it was intentional. I try not to move this arm too much because as you can see, there's a crack in the figure. Yeah, a crack in a Bandai figure. Never thought I'd see the day. But the details sure as shit ain't nothing to crack on. I mean, yeah, the scales do kind of look like chicken feathers on this figure, to me personally, but it looks really, really good. In terms of dorsal plates, they look pretty good. Although I'd have to say I favor the 12-inch figure a lot more because the 12-inch figure, the dorsal plates look a little bit more jagged. These look very rounded, and you know, I know why they did that. It's just a personal thing. But likewise, there is good detail on this figure all the way through the back, all the way to the tip of the tail. Got some very nice detail on the kneecaps, the shins, on the toes and toenails as well. Now, aside from obviously being smaller than the 12-inch figure, this figure also only has 4 points of articulation. You can move his arms, and oh god, did not realize how stiff this guy was. And you can move his legs, and I can't, oh god, and I can't really move them all the way around. He's got no articulation in the tail, although it looks like he should, and he's got no articulation in the head either. So when it comes to these two Bandai Creation Godzilla 2014 figures, I like them. I like them a lot. They're a part of my Godzilla 2014 shelf, and I honestly think they complement each other. And I really like that the 12-inch version of the figure isn't just, you know, a super-sized up version of the normal figure. He's got a different pose, he's got different posability in the tail, and there's a few other differing details on the 12-inch that isn't present on the normal one. I understand that Bandai Creation isn't for everybody. Some people just don't like their design, some people don't like their paint, some people just don't like them, and that's perfectly fine. I, for one, was very excited for the Shin-Godzilla Bandai Creation line, but that never happened. But according to the Godzilla Wikipedia page, the fan one, apparently they're going to be making figures for Godzilla King of the Monsters, so I am very, very much excited for that. And judging by how many Bandai Creation figures I have, who knows, maybe they'll come out as I'm doing this. But anyway, that's about going to wrap it up for the first episode of the brand new arc of Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews. I will be going over every single Bandai Creation figure that I own. I don't think this will be as short as the Marmot one. I might have to double pair up more figures like I did with these two. But other than that, I think this will definitely last a month and some change. Hope you enjoyed the video, everybody, and I hope you lot are enjoying your holiday break, and I will see you all next week back on a normal schedule with a Rob's Godzilla Room Reviews episode on Monday and Friday. Until then, everybody.